What's really going on? Shalom, everyone. You guys ready to get this party started? Sun just popped out. I should have went to the forest, but it was dark this morning. It was too late by the time the sun came out to go to the forest. But if you see on that side, which I'm not going to show you, the clouds are still dark. So praise the Almighty. I'm a nature type of guy. Couldn't just stay in the house and be a homebody. So if anyone's on, okay. Shalom. Hey, I was scrolling down the post. Something saying you posted something about a woman have to admit she was wrong or something. What's that all about? Or she has some little mask on her face or something? What was that all about? In the meantime, you guys could go to the book of Leviticus while we. Oh, it's 10:30 already. I got on late. Praise the Almighty. We'll give people a little bit more time. We'll give people shalom, shalom, everyone. Hopefully, you guys are doing all right this Sabbath. Praise the Almighty. Praise the Almighty. Hopefully, we make some big moves. Sometimes things in life aren't clicking. You're like, man, just stuff just isn't. You do this, it's not clicking. Do this. Every endeavor you're trying to pursue has some like obstacle. You're like, man, what's really going on? Have you guys ever been like that? Praise Almighty. Let's try to turn this so the sun's not. There we go. It's not as bad. All right. It's not as bad. It's Almighty. There we go. Something like that. Yeah, so I'm trying to make some definitely trying to get some stuff done, some major footholds and get some things done. But you know, just different delays. People aren't responding to me. She was wrong about what though? Anyways, that's a nice one. Humility is hard. The main thing with humility I notice is with men. This is why a lot of men don't find a congregation, um, because they one don't want to admit they maybe need marriage counseling. Two, their pride gets in the way of them gets in the way of them realizing that they need to be a part of a body. Men don't like feeling like they have to be accountable to people. And that was Cain's main problem. He said, am I my brother's keeper? You are your brother's keeper. You are your sister's keeper. So we're actually going to get into that in a little bit. So we'll give it about 3 more minutes. Yeah, I loaded up a little late, but give it about 3 more minutes. So we all are our brother's keeper. So uh, dealing with the men in wrong, if someone becomes a part of a congregation, they have to indirectly admit to themselves that they they are wrong. They need to be a part of a body. They need to be a part of a congregation. For them to get right, they have to be a part of a congregation. And people don't want to be a part of a congregation because their deeds will be reproved, which is no difference than coming to the Most High. When you come to the Most High, you have to admit that you cussing, you're wrong. A forward mouth is an abomination. It says, if any man claim to be religious and bridleth not his tongue, he deceiveth his own self. His religion is in vain. Meaning you could keep the Sabbath, not eat pork, not do all these things, but you have a cussing mouth, a forward mouth, you know, you will still make it to the lake of fire. It says you shall be judged for every idle word that comes out of your mouth. You're going to be judged for that. So when you come to the Most High and you have a fornication problem, an adultery problem, cussing problem, eating pork, breaking the Sabbath, not keeping the feast days, you've been in darkness and you come to the light, those deeds are going to get reproved. So when Isaiah came, it says, woe is me, from a man of unclean lips. I think that was in Isaiah. I got to go back. But one of the prophets came closer to the Most High, and he says, "Woe in me." He realized his sin, and it's no different than when you come to the people of the Most High. When you come to the people of the Most High, um, by off top, you see their standard of holiness and their standard of righteousness. Imagine a guy that really wants a girl, but the girl is a virgin. The girl doesn't cuss, doesn't drink, doesn't tell lies. She's not, it's like, dude, I can't come with, hey, sugar mama, hey, honey dip. I got to come correct because this girl's, she has virtue and I'm virtueless. So I have to, hey, she doesn't smoke. Maybe I need to stop smoking. Maybe I need to rethink my life if I want to be able to court this girl because this girl is of high value. And the Almighty is the high value, most high value thing we could even think about and exist in the galaxy or whatnot, if that even contains them. But when we come to the Most High, we have to get our act together. When we come to the saints of the Most High, this is why when you're on the job and living holy, people just don't like you. Oh, we want to get on this pool, this paycheck pool. Nah, I don't gamble. Hey, well, all of us is going to the bar after work. Nah, I don't do that. But you don't even have to tell them scripture. I just don't kick with them because it's be not unequally yoked with unbelievers. For what fellowship with righteous with unrighteous, what communion light with darkness. And so people on the job aren't going to like you because they like to dwell in darkness and you like to dwell in light. So in like manner with brethren, and I'm seeing somewhat with sisters too, with brothers coming, um, brothers not in the Almighty, obviously, but male people trying to come to this gospel, and they just want to read and do their own thing. They just want to pave their own path, or I don't know, but they don't want to come to a congregation because you're going to be accountable. Hey, bro, why are you breaking the Sabbath? You know, I know some people and it made people maybe some people watching, some people not watching. One thing that stops them from getting baptized is because now I can hold you accountable for your actions. See, anyone that comes to True Hebrews United or watch the True Hebrews United, they could sin all they want. They watch. I'm going to be there for them. I'm going to love them. I'm going to have patience for them. I'm going to have long suffering because you're just a guest. You're not on the Almighty's payroll. You I can't hold a sinner accountable to the Holy Scriptures if they're not in the body of Amashiach. Sinners are going to do what sinners do. So my prayer is that they watch and they seek the Most High, and conviction was set in. They actually open this book and realize, like, hey, I'm not saved. If I die right now, me nor my children will make it into the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to get right with the Most High. And then they repent and get to the point to where they can be baptized. Then, bam, once you're baptized, you're in the body. Hey, brother and sister, this is not right according to these scriptures. You know, all brothers could do that and all sisters could do that. There's another minister out there. I know a couple of ministers. If they call me right up and say, hey, Simon, I heard what you taught and such and such and such, this isn't right. They're ministers in the body because they, I believe they're ministers because they hold the foundation of the apostles and prophets. So I consider them ministers. They're out there teaching. I don't consider no pope or none of that a minister of the Most High. And if they could rightly divide it, hey, I got to straighten up. There's always checks and balance in the Holy Scriptures. If a brother came to me, one brother came to me and said, hey, the Feast of Tabernacle is really 8 days, even though it's a 7-day feast. And he showed me, and I didn't receive it. But by the following tabernacle, I said, hey, yeah, that last day is not part of the feast, but it is a Sabbath. And a brother showed me that. Now, did I say, oh, who are you? You're not a minister. You can't tell me. If the Almighty gave this brother, filled with the Ruach HaKodesh, some revelation, and he imparts it onto me, that only makes me a better minister. That means the following years, I could teach more in righteousness. I'm that much more of a powerful minister. But people don't want to come to the gospel, like the humility woman don't want to admit they're wrong, because you have to admit that, hey, I'm wrong. And then the brothers and sisters will be there for you. The brothers and sisters will really, like, I'm here for people, but if they get a part of the body, I'm super here for them. Like, by all means, you know what I'm saying? Because we know what the scriptures, hey, we love our brothers. We're there for our brothers. I'm gonna be a better family member than any other sinner family members. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, my family member will take me in. I'll take you in. You know what I'm saying? Come with a game plan. I'll take you in. Oh, my family helps me out with money. Hey, I'll do that too. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that your sinner family members would do for you that I wouldn't do for you if you're keeping the Almighty's commandments, because you're my spiritual brother, you're my spiritual sister, you're my spiritual mother or spiritual father. And that's how the body of Amashiach needs to work. They sold houses and lands and take care of the brothers. So now I see too, with the admitting, tying this back to admitting wrong, is Uh, I know this lady a long time ago. She studied to her own destruction, meaning, we're going to get into this in a little bit. She studied to her own destruction because she felt like she knew so much that no man could tell her. But the reason why it's to her own destruction is she was studying, she was fasting, and a lot of the men or congregation she was going to, they weren't studying as much. And she probably had more knowledge than some of the men. And I can't knock it because she was very knowledgeable and she studied the scriptures very good. Hopefully she's all right. She's a lady that lives in LA. But because of that, she chose not to be under leadership. And the Almighty set up a certain way his building wants to be built, and that's leadership. You cannot rule yourself. You cannot be a one-man wolf pack. Even if you're a minister, you have to go out and be the light of the world and produce fruit. There is zero way that a woman could produce fruit. Especially a woman needs a congregation, because there's a commandment that says, be the light of the world. How are you going to be the light of the world? How? Oh, I'll tell people about the gospel. Who's going to baptize them? You can't baptize them. You're not a minister. Who's going to baptize them? How are you going to bring people to salvation? Because it says that you should bear fruit and your fruit shall remain. How are you going to bring people to salvation? Well, I'll show them a church that could baptize them. Then why aren't you part of that church? Oh, well, so it's good enough for this random individual to go to this congregation and get baptized and repent and get saved, but it's not good enough for you. There's something wrong with that. And a lot of women that study themselves, they have a problem because they don't want to submit to leadership and they won't admit it. This is what stops people from being baptized. This is what stops people from being part of congregation. I get it. There's a whole bunch of false Hebrew Israelites, churches, Christians. What I understand. There's some people that molesting children, doing that wife swapping, and we're sex is marriage, and really just divorcing them just to find a reason to fornicate. I get it. There's some false places, but First Peter, he talks about wolves in sheep clothing. He talks about they cannot cease from sin while they allure women through the deceitfulness of lust. He spends a whole chapter talking about false ministers, and these are the signs of false ministers. These are the signs of false ministers. And so we can't I'm not going to tell my son, yeah, that girl kind of just was kind of dating you because you had a nice car. She's real shallow. She was just about your money, But you know what? Go ahead, just turn women off altogether. Hey, I know you got your heartbroken daughter because he was grimy. He just wanted to get in your pants. In the last relationship, he tried to do the same thing. And the last 3 relationships were grimy dudes, but not all dudes are grimy. Do you tell them, oh, I'm just stop dating dudes altogether just because of a couple of relationships? And that's the same thing. We don't stop looking for congregations just because we ran across 1 or 2 false congregations. When the Bible tells you that, you're going to tell your daughter, hey, there's some dudes out there that just wants to use you for your vagina. Hey, there's some girls out there that just want to have a kid and get you for alimony and get you for child support. They just want to have a kid by you and say, and they're going to play the part because you got a nice job. You're headed somewhere. She knows she could get a fat child support check from you every single month, and you're just a meal ticket. Yeah, we're going to warn them, just like Paul. But I'm not going to tell my son or daughter, just give up on guys. Just give up on girls. And that's why, back to the people that don't want to admit they're wrong, these are the same characteristic traits will stop them from coming to being saved. Because you have to have a congregation. There is no, I'm a part of the body, but I don't fellowship with no part of the body. Or this new thing is, I fellowship with different congregations, but I don't be a part of any congregation. Because when I break the Sabbath, there's no one to tell me I'm wrong. Oh, when I secretly eat pork, or when I take that gift card for a holiday gift card at the job, there's no one to condemn me. But I get to fellowship and, shalom. I type all this stuff on Facebook and I do all this stuff, but I'm not going to be a part of no one. No. I want to reap the benefit of the fellowship. And I want to reap the benefit of people praying for me, but I'm not going to be a part of nothing. Do you really think that mindset is going to get you into the kingdom? Just think about it. Do you really think having a mindset like that will get you in the kingdom? Because when brothers and sisters sold lands and houses to take care of other brothers and sisters, and you don't even want nothing to do with them, when are you going to take care of the brothers and sisters? Because you're not a part of nobody. So there's no brothers and sisters for you to help. There's no one for you to bless. There's no one for you to hear their calls when they're depressed. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? How are you being fruitful to the body being a one-man wolf pack? How? How are you doing that? And then if they say, oh, I teach Facebook and whatnot, so you should be baptizing people. If you're going to go the route of a minister, then you got to go all 100%. You can't just put a couple of videos. If you need to fly out to people to get them baptized, if you need to go visit people when they're sick, if you're going to do the minister route and say, hey, I'm a minister, I don't need no congregation because the Almighty raised me up to be a minister, hands down, do what you need to do, but you got to do it 100%. You got to love people 100%. You got to call people, be the light of the world. You got to be in their corner. You got to make sure you're there 100% for these souls because you're trying to save souls. Souls that once they die, there is no bringing back. That's a soul. Someone that loved hot sauce, someone that loved tennis, someone that watched TV, someone that had kids. That's a soul. And you're playing with people's souls. And the Almighty's not going to be feeling that if you're going to say, I'm doing the minister route, and you ain't going to love his souls like he loves his souls. You're going to mistreat his souls, his creations. He sends you people his way and you neglect. But then you want to condemn this woman that leaves her kid in the diaper for 6 hours, which is wrong. You know what I'm saying? 6 hours and condemn that. But at the same time, you're saying you're a minister, but you're putting no energy into souls. You're really not going into his field and plowing and planting seeds and watering and nurturing and building people's faith. So they could lie and say, oh, I'm a minister. Okay. It says, be not many masters, for you receive the greater condemnation. So praise the Almighty. Yeah, I went super long on that, but hopefully that was edifying for you guys. And let's get into the book. I already went 15 minutes. All right. Praise the Almighty. We're gonna get into some news today too. All right. Welcome everyone. Shalom. Welcome everyone. All right. Shalom everyone, brothers. All truth without prejudice. Amen. So praise the Almighty. Welcome to True Hebrews United, Lord Yeshua. This should be love. Holiness, instructor, discipleship, Jill. Starting about to get into the book as usual. Definitely give all honor to Yah through his son, Yeshua Mashiach. He is the door. He is the door. He's the only way. Amen. Come any other way is a thief and a robber. His son, Yeshua Mashiach, give double honor to the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, the teachers, the elders, the bishops, the deacons across the whole planet, teaching and preaching and persuading the people to repent from their sins and come to this gospel. All the brothers and sisters across the planet, I definitely, that's keeping the Almighty's commandments, statutes, judgments, precepts, and ways. Definitely thank all. It's a pressing way. I thank the Almighty. Hopefully they keep going and keep pressing through. Definitely thank all the people on the Facebook and YouTube for watching. Any new watchers on the Facebook, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to get that popping off because we handing out cards and people cannot find our face. I kind of neglected. It's my fault. I neglected pushing the YouTube. Our main way of getting the gospel out was Facebook. So now it's time, and they put these deadlines. Now you can't live screen unless you have certain subscribers and this and that. I didn't know this was going to happen. I should have pushed the YouTube just as equal as I pushed the Facebook. But now that I know better, you do better. It's not whether you make mistakes, it's whether you learn from them. We're going to make mistakes, but you shouldn't get a second DUI. Come on now. And then you get a third DUI, you stupid. Like, you get what I'm saying? It's not whether you make mistakes, it's whether you learn from them. So, praise the Almighty. I'm making preparations, learn from my mistakes. When you know better, you do better. So, all you people out there, go ahead and subscribe to the Facebook and whatnot. Get people to subscribe, you know what I'm saying? Hey, if you got subscribe, get people to subscribe, I'll give you $1,000 when we get into the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? When we get into the kingdom, I got you all day. Anyway, so praise the Almighty. Facebook, YouTube, love you, appreciate you guys. People new watching. Hey, I want you guys to make it into the kingdom. I want you guys to be saved. I am Teacher Simon. I'm here to love you, be there for you, comfort you, open the scripture up, Bible studies, whatever I need to do to make sure you make it into the kingdom. I'm one of many ministers. I'm not the only one. Find a congregation, find a place to plant yourself, seek the Almighty, pray and fast to see where the Almighty wants to plant you. I'm just one of many. Find it. If you can't find no one close and I'm the only one there, then hey, you got to do what you got to do to be saved. At the end of the day, you got to save yourself from this untorn generation. Praise the Almighty. What are you guys laughing about? Anyways, let's keep going. So let's get into the book. With all that said and being done, let's let the fingers do the walking. And the scriptures do the talking. So let's get it. Praise the Almighty. Leviticus 23. Leviticus 23. And let's get it. We're going to start at verse 1. I'm going to read a little bit fast. We're going to jump a couple of them. I'm going to read it a little bit fast. So Leviticus 23, we're dealing with the feast days. We have the feast days coming up. So I'm not going to teach on the feast days today because we got a news day and there's some other stuff. I want to help some people out, give them some ideas, give them something to aspire to. Let's get it. And the Almighty spake unto Moses, what he say? Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, concerning the feasts of the Almighty, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, on the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest, a holy convocation. You shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Almighty in all your dwellings. We're going to deal with the Sabbath and with commandments in general in a little bit. These are my feasts of the Almighty, even holy convocations which you proclaim. That means holy. That's a holy gathering. You can have normal services, but this is a holy. You gather yourself. If you don't have a congregation, who are you gathering with on the Sabbath? Think about it. Let's keep going. In the 14th day of the first month at even is the Lord's Passover, and the 15th day of the same month is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So we have that's coming up, guys. I sent all the people. If you guys need it, please request it on the message board. We're going to put it up probably March. That gives you more than enough days to ask your employer for these days off. Not that you need permission, because you're going to take it off whether they give you permission or not, if you have faith in the Most High and if you stand strong in this gospel. Hey, if you lose your job, you didn't lose nothing with the Most High. This is his feast. We love him more than houses, lands, jobs, mother, father, daughter. We love the Almighty above all these things. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Praise the Almighty. Let's keep going on to the next one. And then we'll go to verse 10. Speak unto the children. No, we're going to jump through because I talked a little bit. I went a little sideways dealing with people having humility. So let's go with verse 41, same chapter. And you shall keep the feast unto the Almighty 7 days of the year. He's still in the feast of tabernacle, the last feast. And it shall be a statute forever in all your generations. And you shall celebrate your Sabbath in the 7th month. And you shall dwell in booths, which we set up 7 days. 7 days, all that are Israelite born and dwell in booths, that your generation may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in booths when you brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord, your Yah. And Moses declared unto the children of Israel the feast of the Most High. So we have the feast coming up, Passover, Feast of Unleavened Bread, and Pentecost. I put up there because they're kind of back to back. And then we have the other 4 feasts, blowing the trumpets, Day of Atonement, and Feast of Ingatherings, the other 3 feasts coming up, which, 4 Sabbaths, I'll say, coming up. And so we'll put those on the calendar. People ask me to go years ahead and send out the whole year. The reason why I don't do that too much is because we do off a satellite time. And just in case it's something throughout a couple of months, kind of gets off, or they're wrong, I want to, get it more closer to make sure, but in theory, we could give you the next 5 years of the feast, you know what I'm saying? But who knows what the Almighty does, who knows how the Almighty may, do things at his coming. So praise the Almighty. Let's go with Isaiah 66, and we're going to verse 21. Isaiah 66. All right, let's get it. Praise the Almighty. Amen. Only one person said, let the scriptures do the talking. Angel, good looking out. I appreciate you. I don't appreciate other people. I'm not saying no names, but I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Other people, Isaiah, give me 66. Let's get it. Verse 21. And I will take of them of priests and for Levites, said the Almighty. He's dealing with, we're going to see this next scripture. For as the new heavens and new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me, which is in Revelation 21. I will make new heaven, new earth, and new Jerusalem. I'm going to set up the kingdom, right? Shall remain before me, said the Almighty. So shall your seed and your name remain. And it shall come to pass that from one noon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come and worship before me, said the Almighty. We will eternally be keeping the Sabbath. This is his day. This will always be his day. We will never stop keeping the Sabbath. There's no way around that. This Almighty is serious about keeping his Sabbath. Put the Almighty's, especially the 10, put the Almighty's commandments above jobs, lands, houses, cars, wife, children. This stuff still remains. Go ahead and give me Zechariah 14. Zechariah 14. I'm just lightly going on it. If you want more detail, I teach you how the scriptures still stand. It's in the YouTube. You have to go to YouTube and go to the archives, and I teach on 100% proof why the feast days still stand. So I'm just glancing over it because we got the feast days coming up in about a little over a month. Let's keep going. Zechariah chapter 14. I thank the Almighty that the people that we Zoomed. I appreciate you guys. Keep pressing. The Zoom's only like 40 minutes, which is perfect. I know it ends abruptly sometimes, but sometimes we're Zooming 4, 5 people, and then there's couples, and so everyone's getting a chance to talk, and you know, but it keeps it to where we could go on to the next person, and we could go on to the next person, because there's people out there that want to be saved. There's people out there that want to know the right way. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, hey, I'm really have a mindset of really digging down deep in people's souls. Like I really want, I come through people's alley, and some of you guys know I'm directly talking at you, but I ain't gonna put you on blast. But I'm coming down your alley, but it's because I love you. And it's not like, oh, I'm trying to pick on you. Is what I'm saying true? And is what I'm saying gonna produce salvation? And that's what you need to think about. And when Simon comes down your alley, is it going to equate to, is this going to make me live more holy or less holy? Is this going to build my relationship with the Almighty stronger or not? And or is he just doing that so he could be in charge, or he's just trying to tell me what to need? No. Hey, if I come down your alley and it's because I want you to make it into the kingdom, then think about it. This is actually going to help me spiritually make it into the kingdom. But I'm really making a big push. I want you guys to make it into the kingdom. Hey, share these videos. Hey, all those people that I never met. Hey, I love you. I may not never know you, but I do not want you to go into everlasting contempt. I don't want you to not make it into the kingdom. I want you to have eternal life. Hey, I love you. I want you guys to make it into the kingdom. All right, Zechariah chapter 14, verse 16. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King of the Lord of hosts. So this is when the Almighty set up his kingdom. Now I'm still seeking on revelation, because I think this is almost after the 1,000 years when the Almighty sent fire and brimstone. It kind of seems that way, but it could be, when he first sets up his kingdom, for the 1,000 years, in the beginning of the 1,000 years. But it kind of seems like, because everyone's going to come against Jerusalem and whatnot, it says at the end of the 1,000 years against the people, and the Almighty's going to send fire and brimstone and crush them all. But let's keep going. Every nation that come against Jerusalem, hey, if the Almighty gives someone filled with the Spirit revelation on this chapter, on the timeline, praise the Almighty, send some scriptures, hit me up. Even from year to year to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. So when the Almighty comes and sets up his kingdom, new heaven, new earth, new Jerusalem, here's another feast day we're going to be keeping. And it shall come to pass, who will not come up out of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Almighty of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. The Almighty's still going to be, we still going to have free will. Adam and Eve still have free will in the garden. He's going to set up his kingdom, and you still have free will. Let's keep going. And if a family Egypt go not up, and come not, and that have no rain, there shall be a plague, wherefore the Lord will smite the heathen which will come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. And he's saying the whole planet. So we know this is not fulfilled. The Almighty's not having rain come across the whole planet because they're not keeping the feast at Jerusalem, and the king's not there. So we know this scripture has not came to pass, because he says when he sets up the king, he will be in the temple, and new heaven, new earth, and new Jerusalem, he will be in the temple, setting up his kingdom. And this shall be the punishment of Egypt, and the punishment of all nations that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacle. The Almighty seers, he will pass judgment for us not keeping the feast now and into the world to come. Let's keep going. And in that day there shall be upon the bells of horses holiness unto the Almighty, and the pots of the Almighty's house shall be like the bowls of, before the altar. Yeah, and we'll go on from there. So these feast days still stand. hey, do what you need to do. Take your days off. We put them out there ahead of time, so you know. Tell uh, uh your employers, if you have one, hey, I'm going to be off these days. These are feasts of the Most High. I believe in the Holy Scriptures. If they try to argue that, there's paperwork you could get. You could say what congregation you're from. You could say, hey, I fellowship with True Hebrews United, and they legally have to respect you. Well, they lay you off once you get back and try to sneak to write you up or something. It's possible. Most of the time they won't like it, but they'll respect it. If you're a good worker and you're a hard worker, sometimes you'll get favor. If you've been taking days off and calling sick, and then now you want to live righteous, hey, that other stuff that you've been playing around might come back to bite you in the butt. You still need to live righteous, but hey, if you was not being the best employee and now you're trying to serve the Almighty, that might come back to bite you in the butt. You know what I'm saying? But if you have a prestige history and then it's like, hey, I don't really take days off. This is the feast of the Most High. I came into more truth. I believe the Holy Scriptures, and you tell them what's up. Oh, well, we can't do that. And or hey, you do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? But I'm taking my days off because this is the feast of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? And I love the Almighty before anything. And if you can't respect that, then you obviously don't respect me. And that means this is a dead end job anyways. Because you're willing to lay me off because I got to take days off because I believe in the Holy Scriptures, then obviously you could care little for me, for my wife, for my kids, for my livelihood. You just about your dollar, and I need to be just about the Most High. Obviously, you're just about your dollar, so I'm just about the Most High. And really have that mindset. Go out there. If they say, well, these are the days, and they give that threat into you, whatnot, just start looking for jobs. And then you find a job that pays you more, and then just set that day up to where, hey, I could start right after the feast is over. So bam, you keep the feast, they lay you off, but they didn't even know you already had a job lined up. Like, man, these sinners don't even worry about it, man. Find another job, man. They like never mind. They come a dime a dozen. You know what I'm saying? They come a dime a dozen. It's like don't even worry about it. Just move on to the next job. So put those if you need help on those days will be there. All right, cool. Now I want to get with this subject because it was a good little Zoom call I had. So the next subject is how as we come as babes in the Almighty, our faith isn't as strong. And I'm gonna show you examples of if we see this happen in the Facebook community or YouTube or when you fellowship with people. So give me uh I'll say this. So when your faith is not strong, go to 1 Samuel while we do that, chapter 13. 1 Samuel chapter 13. When we first come to the Almighty, our faith is real small. You're not probably not willing to die for His namesake at that time. Your convictions are still being established. You haven't had your convictions grounded and settled and for not fermented, but cured like concrete. Your foundation, you're still pouring the concrete and getting wheelbarrows and pouring concrete just to get your foundation, let alone being able to build on top of that foundation. So I definitely understand where people's mindset and their conviction. I remember when I first came to the Most High, I came and we used to get at girls on the MySpace or whatever. I think this is before Facebook came out, but we used to meet at a bar or whatnot, and I'll just chill outside. I'm like, oh, you could go in. I'm gonna chill outside. I'll serve the Most High. So in my mind, I'll go into a club and I'll just chill in front of the club because in my mind, hey, I'm not sinning. I'm not in the club, but I'm still getting at girls, and I wasn't fornicating, but I like the chase. It's just what it is. So I'm chilling outside, but now when you look at myself now, it's like, man, you conviction super sauce is soft. Yeah, you didn't go in the club, but you still went to the club to get at girls. I mean, what's the difference? So might as well go in. But in your mind, you're trying to establish these convictions. You're trying to build your foundation. You're still getting wheelbarrow and pouring your foundation. You're still trialing. You can't even build yet. You're just trying to establish the foundation of the apostles and prophets. You're trying to establish, okay, this is the standard and this is the conviction I need to make, and I'm not breaking my convictions. I'm not going this far. I'm not crossing this line. I'm not even going to straddle the fence, and really having that mindset. So now we're going to get into 1 Samuel. You'll find when adversity comes, the first thought will come your mind will find a reason why not to obey. Most people that come to me are Christians will find reasons why not to obey. Find scenarios why not to obey. Perfect example. We know adultery is murder. A woman that gets an abortion is just as grimy as a gang member that kills people. Oh, you're a gang member? Oh, you get an abortion? I was a gang member and I didn't kill as many people as this woman that got 3 abortions. And I gang banged and I sold drugs. But I didn't kill as many people as this woman that had 4 abortions. So who's more wrong? And then who cares what society says? What does the Bible talk about murder? You murdered your kid. You know what I'm saying? You murdered your kid. So that being said, they'll say, oh, well, what if the baby gets raped? Then you could get aborted. See, they want to find reasons to override abortion being wrong. What if she got raped? Give the baby for an adoption. Oh, what if this? What if they said the baby's going to come out retarded and who wants the baby to live that? So you don't murder it? What if the doctors are wrong? What if the baby could get healed? You don't know. You know, and the doctors don't know. The doctors may see something wrong and the baby may came out wrong. But we don't know what prayer and supplication will do. You don't know the power of the Most High. You don't know when people say they'll never walk and then they end up walking. Oh, they'll never talk. They end up talking. They'll never, they're paralyzed. They'll never get the thing and they end up getting out. You don't know if the Almighty gives favor or gives not. That doesn't mean you override the commandment, thou shalt not murder, and you go ahead and get an abortion. And that's the thing. People will find reasons why not to obey instead of finding reasons to obey. And we're going to get some examples. Go ahead and give me 1 Samuel chapter 13, verse 1. 1 Samuel chapter 13, verse 1. Praise the Almighty. Hopefully this helps you guys out. I really want you guys to make it in. I'm giving it one last push. I'm going to be pushing hard till it's time for me to head out, and I'll be in Belize, and I'll be teaching in Belize, and my main focus will probably not focus to people in the States as much. My main demographic will be Belizeans. This is my time. I'm really pushing hard. I'm not saying I won't, I want people to all come out, but, you know what I'm saying, come out of Babylon, but if people's heard my voice year after year, and then they choose not to make preparations, then, hey, you know what, let me focus on the demographic I'm at. Let me try to say some Belizeans. Hey, it is what it is. I'll still preach the gospel to whoever hears it, whatever country hears it. But hey, let me focus right now. I'm here. I'm trying to get as many people saved, get them out of Babylon as soon as possible. 1 Samuel chapter 13. Let's start at verse 1. You guys ready? Hopefully you guys got it by now. Saul reigned 1 year, and he reigned 2 years over Israel. And Saul chose him 1,000 men of Israel, where 1,000 were with Saul and Misha on the mount of Bethel, and 1,000 were Jonathan and Gibeah of Benjamin, and the rest of the people sent every man to his tent. And Jonathan smote the garrison of the Philistines that was at Geba, and the Philistines heard of it, and Saul blew the trumpet throughout all the land, saying, let the Hebrews hear. And all of Israel heard say, Saul have smitten the garrisons of the Philistines, that also was had an abomination with the Philistines, and the people were called together after Saul in Gilgal. And the Philistines gathered themselves together to fight with 30,000 chariots. That's a lot. 6,000 horsemen. And the people was the sand which is on the seashore, and the multitude that came up and pitched in Meshan eastward of Bethaven. And when the men of Israel saw that they were in a strait, for the people were distressed, then the people did hide themselves in caves and thickets and rocks and high places and pits. And some of the Hebrews went about the Jordan in the land of Gad and Gilead. As for Saul, he was yet in Gilgal, and all the people followed him trembled, but they still smashed. They were scared, but they still followed Saul like, hey, let's do it. And he tarried 7 days according to the set time Samuel had appointed. But Samuel came not to Gilgal, and the people were scattered from him. And Saul said, bring here the burnt offering to me, and the peace offering, as he offered a burnt offering. And it came to pass, as soon as he had made the end of the offering and burnt offering, behold, Samuel came, and Samuel went out to meet him, that he might salute him. And Samuel said, what hast thou done? And Saul said, because I saw that the people were scattered from me, and that thou came not within the days appointed, and that the Philistines gathered themselves together. Therefore I said, the Philistines will come down upon me on Gilgal, and I have not made supplication unto the Most High. So I forced myself, and I offered a burnt offering. I mean, he offered a burnt offering. He was about to go to battle. He wanted to give praise to the Most High, make sacrifice before the Most High to go to battle, right? Because they were coming against him. A situation happens. He decides, Samuel says, I'm going to return at a certain point. I'll do the offering. He decides to do the offering because the Philistines are coming at him. It's like, well, Samuel's not here. The prophet's not here. What am I going to do? Let me sacrifice the Almighty before I go to battle, right? Let's keep going. And Samuel said unto Saul, thou hast done foolishly, that thou hast not kept the commandment of the Most High thy Yah, which he commanded thee. For now the Almighty will have established thy kingdom upon Israel forever. That means the Messiah, Mashiach, would have came through the bloodline of Saul, through the lineage of Saul. But because he did not do that, he messed up big time, because now Christ came through the seed of David, right? Tribe of Judah, right? So let's keep going. But now the kingdom shall not continue. The Lord Almighty hath sought him a man after his own heart, and the Lord Almighty commanded him to be captain over his people, and because thou hast not kept that which the Almighty commanded thee. See, a situation comes, and he found a reason to disobey rather than finding reasons to obey. And we see that all the time. We always find reasons why not to keep the Sabbath, why not to do this, why the Almighty will understand, because look at this situation. The Almighty will understand if I didn't do this or I did this. It's like, no. Look what happened to Saul. He not only he had a commandment to wait for Samuel the prophet. What he broke, he was in his mind. He was like, well, I'm about to go to battle. Let me offer it unto the Almighty. He actually had right intentions, but they were still wrong because he disobeyed the commandments of the Most High. They were still wrong. And that's the thing is, we always want, well, I'm on call. If they call me, man, I got to come. I got to break the Sabbath. Look what happened to Saul. Look what happened to Saul. Just think about it. Think about it. Almighty gave him a commandment. He chose not to keep the commandment. He had in his mind a justified reason why not to keep the commandment, and it was to his ruin. But let's go. Let's keep going. Give me chapter 15, same book. Chapter 15, verse 1. And Samuel also said unto Saul, the Almighty sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people and over Israel. And now therefore hearken thou unto the voice of the words of the Almighty. Thus saith the Almighty of hosts, I remember that thou was remember that which Amalekite did to Israel when he laid wait for him when they came out from Egypt. Now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not. Slay both man, woman, infant, suckling, ox and sheep, camel and donkey. And Saul gathered the people together and numbered them in Telamah 200,000 footmen and 10,000 men of Judah. Now let's keep going. He ended up disobeying again, but look what his reasons were, right? And then when Samuel rose early to meet Saul and was told Saul, saying, Saul came to Carmel, and behold, he set him up a place and gone about and passed on and gone down to Gilgal. And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said unto him, Blessed be the name of the Almighty, for I have performed the commandment of the Almighty. And Samuel said, What meaneth this bleating of the sheep in my ears, and the lowing of the oxen which I hear? And Saul said, They have brought them from Amalekite, for the people spared the best of the sheep and the oxen to sacrifice unto the Almighty, and the rest we have utterly destroyed. Well, we kept this situation, we kept this, but we kept this just to sacrifice to the Most High, a righteous cause, right? Let's see what the prophet says, right? Then Samuel said to Saul, I will tell thee what the Almighty hath said to me this night. And he said, Say on. And Samuel said, When thou was a little in thy own sight, thou was not made the head of the tribes of Israel, and the Almighty anointed thee king over Israel. And the Almighty sent thee on a journey and said, Go utterly destroy the sinners of Amalekite and fight against them until they be consumed. Wherefore thou did not obey the voice of the Almighty, and did fly upon the spoil, and did evil in the sight of the Almighty. And Saul said unto Samuel, Yea, I have obeyed the voice of the Almighty, and have gone the way which the Almighty sent me, and I brought Agag the king, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. But the people took the spoil and the sheep and the chief things which they should been utterly destroyed to sacrifice unto the Almighty. I'm just trying to sacrifice to the Almighty. We kept this. We disobeyed the commandment, but it's so we could sacrifice to the Almighty. Essentially, that's what he's saying, right? And Saul said, Have the Almighty have great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifice, as in obeying the voice of the Almighty? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. Obey him. Don't find reasons why not to obey. Well, this situation happened, and we're going to get into a real situation. For rebelliousness is as the sin of witchcraft. Oh man, I don't play with no Ouija board, but you break the Sabbath and you out of rebelliousness, you might as well play with the Ouija board. You might as well draw a circle with the star and conjure some spirits. He said rebelliousness is as the sin of witchcraft. It's no difference between a witch and someone that knows the word of God and willingly disobeys. It's the same thing. People, you guys with the little nasty mouth cussing, verbally abusive and all that, hey, that's rebelliousness. You know better, and you just rebelling against the Most High. So go ahead and get you a little Ouija board every time you want to still have profanity coming out of your mouth. You might as well, but let's keep going. For rebelliousness is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as the iniquity of idolatry. When you know to do better and you still don't do it. And he had this situation happen to where he just sacrificed to the Almighty before he went to battle, but he knew better. But he was like, oh, well, let me find a reason why not to obey. This situation, this adversity came my way. This dilemma came my way. God's probably going to give me a pass. I'm going to sacrifice him. You know what I'm saying? Some people say, oh, I'll just ask God for forgiveness, or I'll ask God to give me mercy, and then I'll go ahead and break the Sabbath or something, right? So, and it says, and it says, because thou hast rejected the word of the Almighty, he have rejected thee from being king. I wonder how many people out there is being rejected from the Most High because they're willingly disobeying. Just think about it. They know better, and they're rejecting to obey, and then and then the Almighty rejects them. Now, there's an example. This person asked me, this is an example. He said, hey, man, I was coming back from work. It was a Friday, and my car broke down. You know, and he asked me, he said, hey, you know, it says, you know, if your ox is stuck in the ditch on the Sabbath, would you help him out? So I said, hey, yeah, I'll help him out. Now, if this brother, because it's lawful to do good on the Sabbath, if this brother was plowing the ground on the Sabbath and his ox got stuck in the ditch, I'm like, hey, teacher Simon, brother Simon, what's up with it? You know, hey, my ox is stuck in the ditch. I'm like, oh, how did it get stuck in the ditch? Oh, I was plowing the ground. I was breaking the Sabbath. Nah, if it dies, it dies. You on your own. I'm not helping you because you chose to break the Sabbath. Hey, my car broke down. Can you help me? Can you pick me up? All right, cool. How did it break down? I mean, you coming back from service? Nah, I was coming back from work. Oh, you was working on the Sabbath? Oh, nah, I can't help you, man. I ain't gonna be able to help you. It's just gonna stay stuck in the ditch. I'm not gonna help you while you sin against the Most High. It says, nah, I'm not gonna be an enabler. I'm not gonna help you because you gave the Almighty a middle finger. Now, if your car was stuck on the side of the road, or when I'm driving, I see some guy's car stuck on the road, I'm not gonna ask questions. They're trying to push their car and they're by themselves. I get out the car and I'll help them out on the Sabbath. It's lawful to do good on the Sabbath, but I'm not gonna help you while you disobey and be an enabler. I'm good. You let it be stuck in the ditch. If your ox dies because you chose to plow on the Sabbath, then let it die. I'm not going to help you. Don't even call me, because you already know if you breaking the Sabbath, it ain't going to happen. So this situation happened. A gentleman had a car broke down, and he asked me that, and I think, I didn't think he had an agenda behind it, but it's come to find out he did. I love him. Hey, if you watch this, hey, I love you. I want you guys to make it into the kingdom. Hey, find a congregation, either True Hebrews United or someone, but you need to find a congregation. I'm not the only man out there teaching this gospel. Find you a congregation. So he said, hey, I was coming back from the Sabbath, and my car broke down, and it wasn't the Sabbath, but by the time I got the parts and everything, the Sabbath would have been hit. Now I got work, right? I work 6 days a week. I got work after the Sabbath. So, I mean, the Almighty will understand if I fix it, because it's like an ox stuck in the ditch, and that's like my ox, you use it to make money. I was like, yeah, of course, kind of like an ox. And then he was like, so, the Almighty understands if I, fix my car on the Sabbath so I could go to work Saturday night, right after the Sabbath, right? Because he keeps the Sabbath, and I much respect for that aspect. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, does he 100% keep it? Well, I'm not going to say and put him on blast. So my situation, he has this situation like Saul. A dilemma came up. Am I going to find a reason to break the Sabbath? Oh, I really need this car. Mine is, hey, let me find a reason to keep the Sabbath, because to obey is better than sacrifice. Instead of you disobeying, why don't you just call, hey, man, my car broke down. The soonest I'm going to be able to get it fixed, I won't be able to come in Saturday night. I'll be able to come in there Sunday night. I got to fix it. Or I could come late Saturday night. I got to fix my car. This is the soonest. That's all you need to tell them. And yeah, you get a half paycheck, a half day paycheck, or yes, you miss a day's of work, but you keep the Sabbath. You keep the commandments of the Most High. Find reasons to obey the commandments. And I said, yeah, you may take an L because you got a 4-day paycheck instead of a 5-day paycheck, but you didn't take an L with the Most High. Saul said, hey, these people are coming and going. We're already outnumbered. These people are going to war. We haven't sacrificed. Samuel, the prophet, said he was going to come and sacrifice before we went to battle. He's not here yet. What am I going to do? And we're outnumbered. And my men are afraid to go to battle. What am I going to do? I'm going to break the commandment just to sacrifice to the Most High, and that way I could go to battle. And he says, you've done foolishly in not hearkening onto the commandments of the Almighty. And that's the same thing. It's like, man, when my car broke down, I could fix it. I could get the parts before the Sabbath, but I could fix it. I need it for work tomorrow. Well, you take a day off. Keep the Sabbath. Keep his commandments. Keep his ways. Don't find reasons to disobey. Everyone does what Saul does these days. It bothers me. And sometimes I wish I never gangbang, because me gangbanging and having been in the military, when you're outnumbered, when it's whatever, hey, whatever it takes, whatever we got to do. If I got to wish 25 to L, then hey, we going to ride on these dudes. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we ain't going to let that fly. It's get what you need to get. Let's get in the car. Let's roll. You know what I'm saying? When we see these people, they dead on sight. And you really think like, hey, I step in this car and I could be in 25 to L. You know what I'm saying? 25 years minimum. And I'm getting in this car. And then when I come to this gospel, it's like, man, it for serving the Almighty, it's nothing. It's nothing to me. Like, I think maybe I disassociate myself from some people that watch us because they never been in that predicament to where, you know, you willing to throw everything away from your homies. You know what I'm saying? And so when I come to the Almighty, it's like, man, it's not lose a day of work. Oh, this is nothing. This is a day's of work. This is it. I just gotta, lose a job? Oh, that I could go and find another one? Because there's only one job on this planet I could work, right? There's no way I could find another job and that way I could keep the Sabbath. It's amazing how bankers that work at bank, they keep the Sabbath and they don't even respect the Sabbath. So I can't find any job on this planet that keeps the Sabbath. Whether I make less money or whether I make more. How about I just put the Almighty? If I'm willing to go all out for my homies, right? For my fellow brethren on the streets, I'll say, why can't I go all out for the Most High? So sometimes I don't understand, like, why? Because this job, this sinner tells you he gonna lay you off, and you let him have power over you to where you'll sin against the Most High. You'll let this sinner threaten to take your money away. And because of this sinner, you will not fully serve the Most High. You will put your salvation in jeopardy because this sinner. I don't understand that. Don't let sinners dictate nothing. They ain't running nothing. We gonna judge the world. It says we're of God and the whole world lieth in wickedness. Don't let no sinner dictate nothing. If he tries to pull that stuff, you should be putting in resumes same day. Same day. Put it in application same day. Off top, replace that job. Because you know what? I could lose money. And I could lose jobs. I could lose my relationship with my wife. I could lose my relationship with my kids. But you ain't going to take my relationship with the Most High. It's not happening. You know, because he's never done me wrong. Everything that I've reaped is because I sowed. When I ran and chased girls and whatnot, I'm in a situation where, hey, I go without months at a time. Hey, you reap that. You want to run around and be a whore? Guess what? You reap that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I praise the Most High. I serve the Most High. I love the Almighty with all of my heart. And I can't even say that fully because I could always love him more. So I say I try to love him with all of my heart, with all of my mind, with all of my soul, and with all of my strength. I try to go all the way with the Most High. You know, and I'm not going to let, forget that. We got to love him above jobs, above that. I don't care. Hey, some of you guys have certain jobs, you're on call, fireman, whatever. Hey, forget it. Then don't do an on-call job. Find another job. Find a solution to obey, not just say, well, the Almighty understands, no, find another job. Like you'll give them solutions and you'll be like, hey, we'll just take the day off and tell them you need to fix it after the Sabbath and just, oh man, I can't do that. Why? Why can't you? Why is it that you have to make one day's pay work? What? Let's say you make $200 after taxes. You can't lose $200 to keep the commandments of the Most High. So you pleasing the Most High isn't worth $200. You might as well sell them for 30 pieces of silver. You might as well. Oh, I can't believe Judas did that. Why did Judas? Man, you break the Sabbath for $200. You might as well sell them out like Judas did for 30 pieces of silver. It don't take much for you to sell out the Most High. You selling them out. Oh, this happened. Oh, I can't go. Oh, this happened. Oh, I can't watch service. Oh, I can't read because I'm tired. Oh, I can't fast. Oh, I don't really teach my. Oh, man, you might as well sell them for 30 pieces of silver. Why not? You know what I'm saying? Don't make fun of Judas if you're selling them out because your employee says, I'm going to lay you off if you keep the feast days. Oh, you sold them out. You went ahead and appeased the people. Some of these Pharisees believed in the Most High, but they feared the Pharisees because the Pharisees will kick them out of the synagogues. So the fear of the Pharisees proceeded the fear of the Most High. They believed in the Messiah, but the fear of the Pharisees overrided the fear of the Most High. And the fear of you getting laid off, the fear of you losing money, the fear of you losing your wife, the fear of your relationship with your kids, the fear of your relationship with your mom, whatever, the fear of that proceeds and is above the fear of the Most High. And that's what will get you out of the kingdom. That's what will make it to where you will not be saved. And that's why I thank the Almighty for Tribes Unite, because I teach to deal with the heart. I don't teach to gain a whole bunch of members. I teach because I want people to be saved. I want people to make it into the kingdom. I want your convictions to be strong. I want you to stand, because if we could stand now in the time of peace, then in hopes you'll be able to stand in the time of war. When this mark of the beast really pops off, I don't want it to happen, but I hope it happens when I'm not too old to where I can still fight, I can still shoot, I can still lead. I don't have Alzheimer's. I could take a lead in a situation, brothers and sisters come together, and I'll be able to give direction and give wisdom. And it doesn't happen when I'm 92 or something. It happens I don't want it to happen in my lifetime, but if it happens, let me do it in my full strength. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it. Let's go. Let's buckle the boots. So if we could stand now, we'll be able to stand in the time of war. It says, if you can't run with the footmen, how are you going to keep up with the horses? If you're breaking commandments now, how are you going to make it? He says also, it goes further when he says, if you can't trust someone with little, how would you bestow unto him true riches? If he can't even trust you to just keep the basic 10, which is the Sabbath, how is he going to trust you with anything else? How is he going to trust you with anything else? Just think about it. You give someone, hey, put this money aside, son, put this money aside. Or you try to start a small business with your son. Hey, okay, I'll buy this. He eats some of his profits. You know what I'm saying? He's selling candy after school. He eats some of it. He spends the money on something instead of spending the money to buy more product. He spends the money. You're trying to teach him business and whatnot. He doesn't do it right. Like, man, I can't trust you with no business. We can't even trust you just to sell candy. What makes you think I'm going to trust you with business? Really having that mindset. So hopefully that helps you. Find reasons to obey. If you have to take an L, go ahead and give me 2 Timothy chapter 2. Last scripture. And then we'll get with the news. The shout outs in the news. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11 and 12. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11 and 12. Praise Almighty. You guys ready? It says, it is a faithful saying. This is faithful. For if we be dead with him, we shall also live with him. If we suffer, we shall also reign with him. If we deny him, he also will deny us. It says, if we reign with him, we have to suffer. If we suffer in this lifetime, brother losing a day of work, brother losing a job, we suffer for his name's sake, we're going to reign with him. We're going to reign with him. It says we need to pick up our cross and follow him. Pick up our cross. It says, I sacrifice daily. We have to be a living sacrifice daily. We will take L's in here, in this lifetime, so we could take the win in the kingdom. That's the part of serving the Lord. This is our trial by fire. This is going to refine us to pure gold. Down here, people, oh man, I want gold, but I don't want to be tried. It's like, what kind of, it's like they just want free money. I just want eternal life, and I don't really got to sacrifice much. I don't really got to sacrifice, even though these people were willing to go in a fiery furnace and they didn't know that Almighty was going to save them, but they were willing to die for them. They say, I can't even lose a job. But Daniel, Meshach, Abednego, and Rashach, they were willing to go in a fiery furnace because of what they believed in the Holy Scriptures. But me, I can't lose a job. That's sacrificing way too much to lose a job. To miss one day of work. Ooh, man, that's too much of a sacrifice. I don't love the Almighty that much. Think about it. So let's go into the news. Hopefully that helps you guys out. Hopefully, I want you guys to make it, deal with your hearts, improve your convictions. You could do it. I'm one of many. If I could do it and live for the Almighty, you guys are out there smarter than me. You can make it into the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? You could sacrifice it, build your convictions, build your foundation, get it settled, get it cured, and build upon that. Grow, be the light, be an example to other people coming into this gospel. Don't have no weak, halfway convictions. You know what I'm saying? Don't have that. You know what I'm saying? Be strong in your faith. Be strong in what you believe. If the Almighty says, thou shalt not do, then don't do it. Thou shalt do, then do it. So let's get into some news. Praise the Almighty. News. Texas. Oh, shout outs. Let's go to the shout outs real quick. Texas. All right, let's get it. Ariel. Shout out to Ariel. Katura. Munya B. Shout out to Munya B. Hey, you supposed to call. Keep your yays and your nays. You know what I'm saying? And Johnny, I know I got your scriptures for the anger. I got you. I got them. We could call and go over them. I've been lagging because I said keep your yays. I've lagged. At least I admit. All right. Kamari. Shout out to Kamari. Nava Kashan. Angel. Person that said let the fingers do this talking. Everyone else dropped the ball on me. That's all right. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be hoping. I hope the fleas of 1,000 camels rest upon your bed. I'm not saying on you because I can't wish no harm upon you, but the fleas of 1,000 camels will rest upon your bed tonight. So let's keep going. Baron Champ, shout out to him. Hey, hit me up one day. Don't be a stranger. I've been talking to you for a couple of years, I've been linked up with you for a couple of years. You've been watching for a bit. Stephen Michael Key, shout out to you. Appreciate you, love you. Antonio COC. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, Antonio. Shout out to Antonio. Keep pressing. Rufus. Keep pressing. Occupate. Destus. All right. Well, shout out to you. Got some unique words going on there in your name. Agua Kareem. Gimme Mac. Eve Around. She trucking. She be trucking. She trucking. Okay, she trucking. I got you. Shatruckin. It sounds like a move off of Street Fighter. Shatruckin. You know what I'm saying? But that's cool. Shout out to these people. So the news. Man, it's getting hot. I should have went outside. It was super dark and rainy, everything. It dried up quick. But the news. Texas storm. Where do we begin with this? One, I've been telling people all believers should be preppers. Whether it's for an earthquake, whether for that, you should have been a prepper. If they were watching and praying, I believe that the people that's really serving the Almighty will have preparations for that. If they aren't, they should be under. If they have a minister, the minister should be on game and having their people prepared. But all those people that believe in the Word of God and have a congregation, I will hope that those congregations with their tithes and offering were preparing and have stuff for their people. Like, where are all these people at? It seems like all these people that supposedly believe in the word and all these churches out there, where are they at? And there's one church out there, some Baptist church was running around helping out people and they're doing some work. But, that's one. And the weird part about it is they're not even in truth. They're Baptists. And they're more prepared. If you're putting your tithes and offering, which tithes and offering still stands, it's the law and the commandments, it's the Torah. You know what I'm saying? All these people, especially these people, you got to keep the law's not done away with. Hey, tithes and offering, all that's done away with. That's what that to be at. Oh, we need to keep the Sabbath, tithes and offering. Oh, that's exactly what they be. But if you've been investing tithes and offering in this congregation, and this situation happened, where are these churches at? Why can't you go to the ministers at your congregation and say, hey, we need help? Oh, no problem. We got, this is what we've been doing. You know what I'm saying? Bam, we got the food, we got the solar, we got this, we got this. Come to the congregation, come to the building, or we come to you. We'll have a crew dropping people off. Sister so-and-so, you'll go drop something off in this area. Brother so-and-so, you live in this area, you go out and drop this off. And obviously if it's dangerous, probably can't do it. But you know, you gotta make those preparations. I mean, that's what the congregation is for. You know, when Hezekiah, they brought offerings to the Lord's treasury and they had so much food and whatnot, they stored it up. And guess what happened? They got besieged and the Almighty delivered them. Besieged is when you can't go out or come in your castle. They got besieged. And that storm, you are besieged by snow. You know what I'm saying? By cold weather. You're not going out and playing in negative degree. So you are besieged. And what do you have for that? You know, but on an individual level, this is why I say for people to always have 2 months. Always have preparations. If you live in a place that gets hot, you get hot weather preparations. And you live in a place that gets cold, you get cold weather. If you suck and live in a place like Texas that gets extremely hot and apparently extremely cold, then you got to prepare for both situations. So I'm going to put some ideas out there for you guys. Hopefully you guys think about it. So this is something we do at True Hebrews United. I don't put on blast everything we do. I share a little bit because one, as I don't want to be I want a small footprint. No matter how big we grow, keep our footprint small. I don't need a whole bunch of Google, Facebook, FBI people tracking me. I'm not saying we're kicking enough dust for that to even happen, but I want to keep it that way. And so I don't put a whole bunch of stuff on blast. Whether we got firearms or whether we don't, whether we got this or whether we don't, whether we got food or whether we don't, I don't be putting too much on blast. I do say be a prepper. I do put videos out there for you to go. So let's go. So every single individual, this is what I want you to have. Every single one. 20 pounds of rice, 60 pounds of beans, 3 different types, 20 pounds, whether 20 pounds of black, 20 pounds of brown, 20 pounds of black eye, whatever. 60 pounds total, 3 different types. 20 pounds of flour, 20 pounds of oatmeal, a bag of sugar, 20 pounds of oats, 20 pounds of pasta, a bag of salt, some bouillon cubes, whether chicken, beef, turkey, bouillon cubes, flavor your meat. You know what I'm saying? Get some candy, long shelf life candy that you could store in the back, where there's some mints or some butterscotch or something that will last a super long. So when the time you got something for the kids, keep your sanity, you don't get food fatigue. Some vitamins, you know what I'm saying? That's just the start. You can always add, this is like bare minimum. You know, if you have a deep freezer, bam, and you store some meat and you're in Texas and never, hey, you got meat right there. You got your freezer, you got meat, you could cook. Let's go to some water. 165 gallons of water. They have 55-gallon drums pretty much in every state. They're usually blue, or sometimes they're black. Food grade, 55-gallon drums. You pour it. They have this thing. You pour it in there. Make your water last 5 years without it making you sick by bacteria or fungus or whatever, stuff growing, algae, whatever. So 3 of those drums. If you live in an apartment, try to get 1. And have some water on the side, some gallon of water, whatever, 5-gallon water jugs on the side. A rocket stove, no matter where you live on the planet, is a wood burning stove. They come like this big, they come bigger. I have a video where we made a large one. We could cook bigger stuff, cook stuff faster. A rocket stove. Have a rocket stove. 1, 2 is they say, oh, you can't cook. You can still cook wood stuff into your house with the rocket stove. I wouldn't recommend it because carbon monoxide poisoning, but it does burn cleaner. The stoves we have your window open. If you're going to cook in your house, you could cook in your house, have your windows open. That means if you had a garage, if you had a kitchen, cook in the kitchen area, have your windows open. If you're in Texas, it's a negative degree. It's going to be cold in your house anyways. Have the windows open and cook, and that way you can still cook your food during that. Rocket stove, some solar power, and then you could argue the fact with Texas, oh, well, it was snowing. If you got to go out there once a day, push the snow off your solar panels, or you bring your solar panels in the house, and then the day it's not raining, you bring it back out, and that way you have some energy. Get like 5 watts. The 5-watt solar panels, they'll charge your phone, they'll charge your tablets. You get a 30-watt, they got them from Harbor Freight or whatnot, it'll charge your laptop and whatnot. There's sometimes you could be out of power and not out of internet. So Your router could be out of power, so then yeah, but your phone could still work. You know what I'm saying? So you never know what kind of power outage that is. So definitely get some that. Get some solar power. If you got money, you can get the 100, 200 watts, one big panel. You got one car battery, then roll with that. You have power enough to power your items, get some lights on, not being in the dark at nighttime, especially if it's cold. Get some stuff out there. Some board games and no power. You know what I'm saying? Board games for the kids, learning games, Uno, playing cards, whatever. Have some kind of entertainment when you're in that situation. Um, Wood and fireplace. If you know that this may happen again in Texas or anywhere, invest in building a fireplace to your house. If you're in a like modular home, I don't know if you could get a fireplace or whatnot. They do have some fireplaces that you could build in. Get you some fireplace, get you some wood on the side. Maybe in the next video I'll show you guys. I keep extra wood because if the power's out and I need to cook, I don't want to have to leave my house. That I have wood already there, and we could cook with the rocket stove and have enough to last us probably a month or two. So have enough wood on the side to last you a month or two. You know, it'll look weird if you live in an apartment. Stack some wood, put it in a bag to where the bugs and it can still dry out. Figure out a place, put it on the balcony, put it in the little. Some of them have like a little side yard or the porch. Put it somewhere to where you could store it. Store some wood, firewood on the side. If you know this could happen again, who knows? Oh, it never happened. You never know what could happen. I'm pretty sure those people in Texas didn't think that was going to happen to them. And like, do I think there's going to be an earthquake in California today? No. But could it happen? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Could it happen? I didn't even know an earthquake broke down one of the bridges in San Francisco. One of their bridges collapsed and killed people or whatnot. I didn't even know that happened until I went up here. So have your stuff on the side. Extra wood, cold weather equipment. If you know your state is subject to get cold, buy extra cold weather equipment. Buy extra straight sleeping bags or mittens or things for your beanies or whatnot. Buy extra heavy blankets you never use, but it's just for an emergency where you need them. You know what I'm saying? Have extra gasoline in your garage just in case. Like if I was going on a trip and it was during the snow, and I know if I got stuck on the side of the road and I might not get help for hours, in my trunk, I will have an extra 5 gallons and maybe a flare, you know, maybe a candle and some stick that I could put up high and it keeps a light to where someone could see this light and pass by and see me on the second side of the road. I could get out into the snow and fill the gas tank up with another 5 gallons that could keep me alive a little bit longer for help to come by. Always make preparations. If I go, hey, we're going to go fishing. Before I go fishing, I'll buy a life jacket for all of my kids. Oh, we're not going. I don't care. I don't come to any place unprepared. When I go to the jungle in Belize, I always have my machete on me. There's not, oh, you know, some panther just came and a tapir came or whoever. Maybe some person is there trying to rob me. You know what I'm saying? Hoping that I'm unarmed and they roll up with their machete and I pull my machete up and I'm like, hey, what's popping? What's going down? And then they back down because they realize they don't have the advantage that they wanted. And then I don't get robbed. Or maybe there's someone that was going to rob me, but they seen I have a machete on my waist and they choose not to do it because they're going to take collateral damage. So it's like, hey, I'm not going to risk my life trying to get something and he may not even have nothing on him. But I thought I could sneak up on him and he was defenseless. Hey, I could rob this dude and come up. No, you're not going to pull a lick on me. Come prepared. I always tell people that serve the Almighty, if you serve the Almighty, you have to be a prepper by default. It says, watch and pray that these diseases don't catch you unaware. I'm not going to have so much sympathy when people go through this stuff. If the stuff happens in your state and you've been watching True Hebrews United for so many, it's late over a year, and you're not prepared, what sympathy you expect me to have for you? I've been always saying prepare. And it don't have to be for the mark of the beast. It could be for this situation that's happening in Texas. You know what I'm saying? It could be for that situation. True Hebrews United comes prepared. We're not prepared for all things. You know what I'm saying? But we come prepared. But we are a congregation where a lot of the people coming to True Hebrews United are in different states, different countries, hopefully, you know, when you be come through. But, so not everyone will be able to make it to the headquarters, I would say. You know, but if all the brothers and sisters at True Hebrews United got 2 months worth of stuff, and you people that's not part, but you guys get your 2 months worth of stuff, then it's going to work out for you. Then you'll be there and everyone's without power. But yeah, because it's not even snowing now and they're without power. So you could put out solar panels. So anyone in Texas right now that puts some solar powers out, they could turn the lights on. If you had 100 or 200 or 300 watts out of panels you had in the backyard and you hooked it up, you could turn on an electric heater. You could plug it into a battery and smash the electric heater during the day. And when the sun's down, you can't have the electric heater, but whatever. You can insulate your curtains and whatnot, try to insulate your room as much as possible, and insulate a room and just heat up a room. You could still cook. Oh, I don't have no power, I can't cook. But you have a wood stove, you have a rocket stove, you can still cook your food. You can still boil water. Ooh, you can still take a shower. You can still get some ice out, boil water, because the rocket stove uses a little wood. It doesn't consume a lot of wood. You know what I'm saying? You could make a lot of fire with a little bit of wood. You could boil that and have water. They're like, oh, people don't have drinking water. They say just use your water for survival purposes. That's where, well, I could boil water. None of these people could boil water. I have a rocket stove. I boil water, and we could take nice little warm bird baths and keep our hygiene up. We can make, I have a whole bunch of hot chocolate. We can have hot chocolate while everyone else is struggling. Not that I want everyone to struggle, but I can make hot chocolate. I can make instant coffee. I could boil some rice. We can have a warm meal at -8 degrees because I have this rocket stove that cost me $200 or $130. But nah, I want this nice $1,200 phone. This just cost me like $100 or something. But I want this $1,200 phone. No, I want a new paint job on my car. No, I want rims. No, I want this. No, I want that. And people don't understand. You don't know what the Almighty could bring to your state. Oh, it never happened. Oh, it never happened. There was a super flood that happens. The last time it happened was in 30 years in Belize. Like, did anyone expect this vortex to happen and kill people? People were dying. Car accidents, freezing to death. Do you think, oh, I've been here living my whole life. I've never seen this in Texas. But if you were serving the Almighty One and you watch and pray and you were a prepper, this wouldn't even, it'll be an inconvenience. It wouldn't be a life and death situation. It'd be an inconvenience. Yes, we have to boil our water to take a shower. I have plenty of snow out there. I don't have an issue with water. I boil it. You could go out there when it's cold and chop some trees down, get some dead wood, and you can still cook that dead wood. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's cold or not, there's wood out there. Go out there, get it, bring it back. Bam, you're good. Get your stuff together. You people out there, hey, I keep telling you, you got to be a prepper. You have to be a prepper. You have to be a prepper. New Orleans, you think New Orleans, oh, the dams are going to break, which I think, I think that was set up, but whatever. Oh, the dams, and they got flooded. You think they thought that was going to happen? But imagine if they were preppers. You know what I'm saying? Imagine they're preppers. Would they have to go to the dome and risk kids getting kidnapped in the dome and kids getting raped in the dome? You know what I'm saying? Would they have to go there? Or could they just find a place to dry land and set up shop? Or go back to their house if their house isn't flooded? You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Just think about it. Be a prepper. Be prepared and be a prepper. So, I mean, hopefully that helps you guys out with the whole Texas thing. I really want you guys to make it into the kingdom. You people in Texas, hey, find a congregation. If you had a congregation and you had a leader that's led by the Spirit and led by the Most High, he wouldn't let you down. Hey, out there, you people out there, if you don't have a congregation, you need to find a congregation. You cannot lead yourself. You cannot take this word and be a one-man wolf pack. There's no one-man armies in the Holy Scriptures. You got to do what you got to do to be saved. Find you a minister. That way, find you a congregation. That way, you're your brother's keeper, and they're your keeper as well. Everyone's accountable. Everyone's checks and balances. Everyone lives holy, live righteous to the same goal, living clean. We just got to live holy until we die. That's it. We just got to keep the commandments just until we die. We make it into the kingdom, and then, yeah, we'll be keeping the commandments and then also, but still, we just got to make it. It don't take long. Just bear that cross, serve the Almighty, sacrifice what you need to sacrifice, do what you got to do, make it in the kingdom. All that said being done, keep standing, give the Almighty a hand clap. Shalom.